D-U-D, D-U-D, put does in my washing machine. See the clothes come out so clean. When I does my wash, I sing. D-U-D does everything.
Yes, it's the Does program, Road of Life. Lots of you have probably said something like this to yourself.
What a wonderful soap Does is. It's changed my whole wash day picture.
Well, then, how about letting Does brighten up your dishwashing picture, too?
What? The same soap for both?
Sure, there's no need to bother with an extra soap just for dishes. Does everything in the dishpan, too.
Look here, I expect a lot.
Just look at all Does. Want fast action on greasy pans? Gentle action on hands? Well, Does everything.
But I've tried plenty of soap.
Once you try Does, you'll see it's different. It's actually made richer, finer than any strong granulated soap. Why, ounce for ounce, Does even gives you more suds. Real soap suds that stand up till the last dish is done.
Now you're talking. When I think of the tired, sickly suds I put up with during the soap shortage, oh.
Those Does suds are full of vim and vigor. Watch how fast they destroy tough grease on frying pans. You don't have to scour away till your fingers ache.
That reminds me, there are two items you haven't said a word about.
Oh, what?
My hands.
Oh, Does always has a kind, helpful word for hands. Changing to Does from those strong soaps can actually improve their looks. Can mean softer, lovelier hands.
Say, that is something.
That's Does for dishes. Any wonder it's so popular we can hardly keep it on the store shelves? First chance you get Does. So fast on pans, so kind to hands. Does everything. And now Does invites you to listen to Road of Life. Alec Ransom, the nephew of Carol's employer at the White Orchid Cosmetic Company, has arrived in Merrimack. Through Carol's efforts, the charming Mr. Ransom now has a position at the Theodore Wheelock Memorial Sanitarium. By making further use of Jim Brent's wife, the crafty Mr. Ransom hopes to become more than just a research chemist. Just how he uses Carol may be amply demonstrated at this moment. It's evening, well after dinner. The living room of the Chief of Staff's residence is bathed in a soft, warm light, pleasant but subdued. Just enough light for the two people who are sitting side by side on the couch to see each other.
Alec, I do wish you wouldn't feel so badly.
Oh, it isn't that I feel badly, Carol. It's that I'm disappointed.
But you shouldn't be. I told you I'd talk to Jim about where and with whom you're going to work.
I know you did, and I appreciate your offer, but perhaps it wouldn't seem right.
Why not?
Well, you've done enough for me already.
I haven't done a thing. You leave Jim to me.
Well,
The idea of his not wanting you in the same laboratory with him.
Well, of course.
You know, I think you're right, Alec. You may be absolutely right about why he doesn't want you around.
Now, I didn't say that as a definite statement. I merely wondered if Jim preferred to be alone with Miss Lowell.
Miss Lowell. Miss Lowell, indeed. What are you smiling at?
You? I can't imagine you ever getting really angry, Carol.
Can't you?
You're much too warm and pink and tender for anger.
Am I?
Didn't anyone ever tell you that? Carol.
Yes.
What is it that both of us feel about each other? Oh, I don't necessarily mean what you're thinking. What I want to say is that...
Yes.
Well, you and I, we've so many similar character traits. Our appreciation of beauty and fine things, our dislike for the common, the vulgar, the ordinary. Our love of freedom and idealism. Our belief in our own predestined futures. There's so much that we share, Carol. Isn't that so?
Yes, I suppose it is.
It was a strange experience, my first meeting with you. I knew every one of those similarities we both share, even before my uncle introduced me.
Did you?
Carol.
Yes.
Would you like to know what I thought when I saw you? Would you like to know what I think now? Sitting here beside you, inhaling the scent of your perfume, seeing you so close. Carol.
I'm afraid that's the doorbell, Alec. Excuse me.
Hi, Carol.
Cliff Wadsworth. Well, of all people.
Good evening, Mrs. Brent.
Hello, Alice. Won't you two come in?
Well, that's why we came over. Hey, where's Jim? Alice and I decided we hadn't seen you people in so long.
Good evening, Dr. Brent. Oh, excuse me. I thought you were...
That's not Jim.
Alice, Cliff, this is Mr. Ransom, Miss Randall, and Mr. Wadsworth.
Oh,
How do you
how
do?
Good evening.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you, Mrs. Brent.
Thanks. Ransom. Alec Ransom?
That's right.
Well, for crying out loud, don't you remember me? Huh?
Why, yes, of course I do.
Alec, don't tell me you two know each other.
Know each other after what we've been through together?
Yes.
Isn't Dr. Brent at home?
No, Alice. He's working again tonight.
Oh, what a shame.
Say, what are you doing here, Ransom?
Oh,
Visiting for a change?
Hardly.
Mr. Ransom is going to remain in Merrimack permanently, Cliff.
No fooling.
Yes.
Doing what?
He's going to be connected with the sanitarium.
With our sanitarium?
That's right. Brent thought I might be of some value to him in research chemistry.
Well, what do you know?
When did you arrive, Mr. Ransom?
This morning.
Oh, I hope you'll like Merrimack.
I hope so.
All, set already?
I beg your pardon.
I mean, have you started work yet?
Oh, not until the beginning of the week. Just a bit of a holiday, you know, before the labors begin. Are you connected with the sanitarium, Miss Randall?
Oh, no, I teach school.
Alice lives at the Simpsons. So does Cliff. That's the place Jim was talking about as a possibility for you, Alec.
Well, what does he want to stay at the Simpsons for? If he's going to do research at the sanitarium, he's got a ready-made room already.
Well, Alec doesn't like the bachelor quarters at the sanitarium, Cliff.
He doesn't like 'em? He doesn't like 'em. Now, wait a minute, Ransom. Maybe you didn't know this, but I'm the public relations director of this place.
You're the what?
The public relations director.
How did that happen?
Jim gave it to me. Now, listen, Ransom, I'm a changed man since I saw you last. I've got responsibilities here.
You?
You're darn tootin'. I'm around here to see that this place keeps up its good name. And if you're going to start complaining about the bachelor quarters, why, we're as proud as we can be of those rooms.
Well, I wouldn't want to hurt your feelings, Wadsworth.
If you're not satisfied with the room you've got, just let me know. I do have a little influence with Miss Boyle.
Alec isn't staying at the sanitarium, Cliff.
He isn't?
He's staying with us temporarily.
No objections, are there, Wadsworth?
No, only... Well, it was Cousin Carson's idea that all men connect.
Cousin Carson.
Cliff is Dr. McVicker's cousin, Mr. Ransom.
Oh, I didn't know that. You never mentioned anything about that when we, in the old days. We certainly had some interesting times together, eh, Cliff?
You mean wild. Carol, you should have seen the party Ransom and I were at out in Long Island one year. I tell you, it was...
You sound as though you miss those parties, Cliff.
Oh, no, not at all. No.
He's much happier now, Mrs. Brent.
Is he, Miss Randall?
Why, sure. Just look at me. You didn't recognize me when I walked in, did you? Of course not. I'm a new man, healthy as they come. Drink milk 4 times a day, and nothing but milk. Get to sleep no later than 10 o'clock in the evening every night of the week, except Saturdays when they have the hoedown.
Sounds rather rustic and boring, Audra.
It might be to you, but it's not to me. You made a new man out of me. Why, when I think of the kind of parties I used to meet you at, I shudder. Yes, sir, that's just what I do.
Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you always did do a good deal more drinking than I.
I'll say I did. You were too busy with the girls. You should have seen them. Women all over the place.
Wadsworth.
Alec Ransom would walk into a room, and 10 minutes later he'd have every girl in the place falling for him.
I think you're probably exaggerating, Cliff.
Exaggerate? Why, Carol, I could tell you techniques that man used that never failed. Flawless. And not old ones either. Used to invent every one himself, didn't you, Ransom?
You haven't changed a bit. No matter what you say, Cliff, you're still the life of the party.
What a line he used to hand out. Boy, he was really something to watch. He had them all groggy, from sub-debs to giggling old women whose husbands were too busy on the exchange to pay any attention to
Cliff,
them. Say, are you still engaged to that girl down in Baltimore?
Engaged?
Or was she from Richmond? Well, what are you looking so surprised about, Carol? Ransom's the man who created engagements. A season couldn't end in New York unless 3 or 4 mothers announced the engagements of their daughters to Mr. Alec Well, what's the matter?
Nothing, Cliff. Go right on. This is all very amusing.
Carol.
But I'm afraid I'll have to run upstairs for a minute. I'd better look in on Janie.
Oh, may I come along and see her too, Mrs. Brand?
No. Yes, I don't care. Come if you want to, Alice. Only I do have to hurry.
Oh, excuse me, please. I'm coming, Mrs. Brand.
Well, no, didn't they leave in a hurry?
Wadsworth.
I didn't hear Janie crying, did you?
Wadsworth, before the ladies come down, I want to have a little talk with you.
Well, sure.
Shooting off your mouth about the past. Is that your idea of a joke? Or do you have another purpose?
No, only... You're sore, aren't you?
Wadsworth, you came up here and, according to your own words, made a new life for yourself. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Do you understand?
Okay, but why are you getting so excited about it?
No more little scenes like the one you just played, Wadsworth. Forget about the past and forget about it right now.
What's the matter? Are you ashamed of it, or don't you want these people to know, or are you afraid?
You just worry about keeping your mouth shut. And I'll worry about why I want it shut.
But what...
I have my own reasons for letting the past go by the boards. Now, shall we go on to more pleasant matters? Cigar?
You know, anybody who does a big family wash week in and week out must have had pretty tough going during the soap shortage. But now in more and more homes coast to coast, wash days are easy going because they're using...
the newest of all the leading package soap sold for wash days. The one that gives you more suds, ounce for ounce.
Yes, that means the one and only Does. One amazing soap especially made to do everything in your family wash.
You mean this same Does can get my husband's oil-spattered work shirts clean and still be safe for my nice rayon slips?
You mean it'll treat my colored sport dresses right and still get my towels white?
Exactly what I do mean. Does is one soap that can handle both the dirtiest dirt and the brightest colors you wash. Just see how white, how really white Does gets your white things, how truly clean your heavy pieces turn out, and how extra bright your colored things will be. Once you see all Does, you'll know why it's selling so fast we can hardly keep it on the store shelves. Get your Does today. From the roughest and toughest to the whitest and brightest, Does does everything. Be sure to listen tomorrow to another absorbing episode on Road of Life with Don McLaughlin and Marion Shockley, brought to you by Does.
D-U-Z, D-U-Z, put Does in my washing machine. D-U-Z does everything.
This is Clayton Collier wishing you good day and good dozzing for Procter & Gamble, the makers of Does.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.